The mapping sequence, Ed. That's from Keanu Reeves' Replicas. It's story time with Mr. Steve. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna read books. I don't know how to play this. We're gonna have a lot of fun. It's story time. Theme song. My name is Mr. Steve, and today we're gonna have a very special story time. This is gonna be so good. Now let me explain to you what's going on in this video. A few days ago, I did a special Patreon-only story time. It was a story time just for my patrons on Patreon. The link is right here, and it's yellow. Wait, now it's red. Wait, now it's blue. I do that to just mess with myself. So I did a special Patreon-only story time. We read the classic book, Love You Forever, and just destroyed it. And I thought it'd be a fun little 10, 15-minute video, but we were just having so much fun, me and my kids. We were having so much fun destroying that book that it ended up being a half-hour story time. It was crazy. And right now, my patrons on Patreon are watching the entire half-hour thing, and they're laughing and they're having a blast. So you're missing that right now. So what I did is I got the half-hour video, and I've edited it into 2 parts. But to be clear, you're getting part 1, you'll get part 2 later, some other time. My patrons have the whole thing right now. Also, I'm cutting out a little bit of the jokes, too. So if you're a patron on Patreon, you get access to the full story, and it's hilarious. But here's part 1 of that, and it's hilarious. We hope you'll enjoy. It's called Love You Forever. People love this book, and I have no idea why, because it's a weird book. This is a weird book, man. This is a weird book. Let me explain it to you. Everybody who's out there right now watching this video, raise your hand if you have grandparents. Now keep your hand up if your grandparents break into your parents' house at night and hold your dad while he sleeps. The author, Robert Munsch, he's Canadian. Maybe it's a Canadian thing. You want me to read this? Yeah. Okay, but it's a weird book. I'm letting you know right now, it's a weird book, okay? I won't be reading it as much as I will be sort of riffing on it. Love You Forever by Robert Munsch. A mother... That's the mother right there. She shops at the all-new House on the Prairie Emporium store off of Route 9, right by the freeway. A mother held her new baby. She held... where'd this baby come from? It's so new. And very slowly rocked the baby back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Eleanor, let's rock our baby, okay? Rock the baby. Rock her gently. Be sure not to rock her too hard. That's too hard! Oh no, you're rocking the baby too hard! You gotta be careful not to rock the baby too hard, okay? Back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh no, that was too hard. I'm sorry, baby. And while she held him, she sang this song. I love you forever. I'll like you for always. Hey! I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. Now, a couple of things. Number 1, I really like her braiding work there. That's very nice. I appreciate that. Secondly, what's up with that cat? That cat is less of a cat and more of like someone ran over a football. That's football cat, is what that is. See the football cat there? It's a weird cat. Someone ran over your kitten, ma'am. The baby grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 50 feet tall. And he was destroying Tokyo with his radioactive breath. He grew until he was 2 years old. Oh, look at that. I have that same toothpaste. The stripey kind. Oh, no. Football cat has fainted. Oh, no. That might just be a raccoon. He grew until he was 2 years old, and he ran all around the house. At least he's getting some exercise. He pulled all the books off the shelves. I don't believe that. This girl right here is 2 years old. We got some books up there. She can't reach those. He pulled all the food out of the refrigerator. I doubt that. And he took his mother's watch and flushed it down the toilet. Sometimes his mother would say, "This kid is driving me crazy!" But at nighttime, when that 2-year-old was quiet, she's got some creepy eyes there. Like this. You know? But at nighttime, when that 2-year-old was quiet, she opened the door to his room. She crawled across the floor, apparently, army style. Alpha Tango Tea Kettle Barbecue. We've got Charlie in the trees. And looked up over the side of his bed. And if he really was asleep, she picked him up. Ha ha! Oppa! And rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. While she rocked him, she sang this song. Welcome to the jungle! I heard a baby wants to rock! Cats kind of rolled together. Now it's a snake. The cat kind of changes species with each page, which is interesting. Now it's a boa constrictor. It'll get you. The cobra. Cobra strikes. How should we sing this song? This time, let's do country. I'll love you forever. Flag. I'll like you for always. America. As long as I'm living. Bible. My baby, your baby. Freedom. The little boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 9 years old. And you want to know how old this book is? He's spilling sody pop as he listens to his Walkman. I got another question for you. He's leaving footprints while wearing shoes. I'm a little bit confused about that. Those are obviously like toe marks. And he's wearing shoes, so I'm a bit confused about that. Also, I don't think cats get haircuts, but this cat needs it. Suddenly this cat is 1,000,000 times poofier. Here's another amazing part. Look, the boy's mutant powers have arrived, and now he can make things float in the air using his mutant power. Pretty soon he'll be going to Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. He grew until he was 9 years old, and he never wanted to come in for dinner. He never wanted to take a bath. And when Grandma visited, he always said bad words. Bad words are bad. Sometimes his mother wanted to sell him to the zoo, but I can tell you from experience that if you bring your 5 kids to the zoo with the expressed intent on selling them to one of the zoo owners, they will get angry at you. That is something I have proven. But at nighttime, when he was asleep, the mother quietly opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, army style, hop, 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 hop to, hop to, hop to, and looked over the side of the bed. If he really was asleep, she picked up that 9-year-old boy and then just sort of spinned him around like a basketball, because that's just how she be. She picked up that 9-year-old boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Be careful, you don't want to... Oops, I dropped my baby. And while she rocked him, she sang. How should I sing the song this time? Jazzy. Like, what's his name? Seth MacFarlane, only less pretentious. Michael Bublé. I'll love you forever. Yeah. You hep cats and kittens out there in Jazzland. Yeah. I'll like you for always, baby. I'm not... That's better. As long as I'm living, doll, my baby you will be. Oh, yeah. Jelly roll. The cat has fainted. The cat can't believe it. The cat seems to have gotten pointier. This is where it gets really confusing, okay? So stick with me. The boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a teenager. First off, he looks like he has an Elvis obsession, which is weird for a teenager, number one. Number two, as you can see, he buys Hawaiian shirts from Walgreens, 2 for $10. So he's saving money. Good for him. There's also a record player here. Do you know what record players are, boys and girls? It's what people used to listen to before cassette tapes came along. You know what cassette tapes are, boys and girls? It's what people used to listen to before CDs came along. You know what CDs are, boys and girls? What people used to listen to before MP3s came along. You know what MP3s are, boys and girls? It's what people used to listen to before iTunes came along. You know what iTunes is, boys and girls? It's what people used to listen to before everybody started streaming stuff. You know what streaming music is, boys and girls? It's what people used to do before Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk started injecting us with songs directly into our brains. Boot the mapping sequence, Ed. That's from Keanu Reeves' Replicas. The thing I especially love is right here. They're eating pizza, but with no cheese. Maybe they're lactose intolerant. Yeah, could I get a pizza, but just no cheese, just a crust, sauce, and some pepperonis? Pepperonis floating in the sauce. That is definitely a Panic at the Disco song. Pepperonis floating in the sauce. Pepperonis floating in the sauce. He had strange friends and he wore strange clothes and he listened to strange music. Sometimes his mother felt like she was in a zoo. Also because the teenager flings his poop. It's starting to get a little bit weird now. But at nighttime, when that teenager was asleep, the mother opened the door to his room. Hey, teenage son, it's your mom coming to hold you. Crawled across the floor. Hup, 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 hup. Meanwhile, he's, you don't need to do that, Mom. I'm 16. Hup, 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 hup. And looked up over the side of the bed. Oh, there you are. And if he really was asleep, he picked up that great big boy. Now, here's a bit of the backstory for you. It doesn't happen in the book, but I'm just assuming that this happens off book. But at some point in time between this kid being 9 and this kid being a teenager, the mom was obviously bitten by a radioactive spider, which gave her superpowers, such as the ability for like a 40-year-old mom to easily pick up a 16-year-old boy and rock him to bed. Also, I dare any of you who have teenagers to just sneak into their room at like midnight and try and rock them to sleep. I'm sure that'll work fine. I've got some 17-year-olds. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna be killed. Look at this cat. That cat's face is so sharp. Oh, I know what the cat's name is. Shank. Because you can stab someone with the cat. It's crazy. If he really was asleep, she picked up that great big boy that great big boy, and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang. Now, how should I sing the song this time? No, I'm not going to do that. That felt embarrassing. But I am Mr. Steve. I'll love you forever. No, I'm not doing it. I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. This is a remarkably clean room for a teenage boy. I'm suddenly doubting the validity of this whole book. And that's it for part 1 of our Love You Forever story time. Be sure and stay tuned for part 2, and if you haven't, be sure and like and subscribe wherever that is. Is it down here? Is it down here? I don't know. But be sure and like and subscribe, and hey, think about donating to my Patreon. The link is right here, and it's in black. Wait, now it's in white. Wait, now it's in green. Now it's in red. Because right now, my patrons on Patreon are watching the entire full story time, and it's a half hour long, and it's hilarious. So, be sure and stay tuned for part 2 of destroying the classic book, Love You Forever. Boot the mapping... Anyway.